How's that job search of yours going? Not so good? You might want a little more help and advice. Head to 5strengths.com/webinar to register for my free webinar, Break the Six-Figure Salary Barrier, Master Your Executive Job Search. You'll get great strategies and a ton of free resources to help your job search from a name you can trust. That's 5strengths.com/webinar. Now on to the show. Hello and welcome to the Job Search Podcast. I'm Amy L. Adler, and if you've been listening to the Job Search Podcast, you'll have heard that the last episode was the first part in a simple research plan for executive job search success. That first plan helped you figure out what you want to do next, and it gave you some exercises and some thought processes and some skills to figure out what that might be. Today, in part 2, we're going to talk about how to identify the right industry. Your job function, the thing that you want to do, might have correlates across multiple industries, so you might believe you can fit in almost anywhere. This might be true, but that is a hard sell and nearly impossible to convey in a properly constructed resume or during an interview. Your resume needs to target your assets relative to a particular industry and to a particular job function. Your interview needs to convey your experience so that a hiring executive sees the solution to his or her problem in your background. Thus, you need to determine which industry or sub-industry or sub-sub-industry into which you will best fit and in which you will feel most rewarded. So your job right now is to look at your current industry broadly, to figure out whether you still fit into it. Do you? Do you feel comfortable there? Do you still like it? What are you thinking? Then you need to determine whether additional industries might be more compelling to you as well. This is purely from your perspective. So answer these questions. Does your current industry provide sufficient interest for you to continue in it? Are you finding the right challenges on a broad level? Are there interesting problems to solve? Are your ethics aligned with the success of your industry? Do you believe that you can contribute over the long term to the success of this industry? With that in mind, now, have you explored other industries that might capture your interest? What are the adjacencies that you are dealing with all the time? Who benefits from your industry? Who sells to it? Who buys from it? Who benefits from it? You need to figure out what's interesting to you about those industries or job functions to figure out if they might be a fit for you. So do some research online. Or better yet, build out your network to include people in those adjacent industries so you can get an insider's view of the way the industry works. So that was part 2 of the simple research plan for executive job search success. That was part 2, looking at the right industry, following on part 1 that was published earlier. So make sure you look for number 3, part 3, which is going to be talking about targeting companies. And I look forward to any feedback you have, questions about your own career or job search or resume. So you can find me at 5strengths.com. That's FIVESTRENGTHS.com. I always am interested to hear about what your struggles might be or what your interests are or how I could help you. So please reach out. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much for listening today.